Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the greatest compilation of Formula 1 drivers who woke up and chose violence. This isn't your typical highlight reel of clean overtakes and polished interviews. This is raw, unfiltered, savage. This is F1 drivers giving absolutely zero From Kimi's legendary radio silence to Max Verstappen roasting everyone and F1 pros telling engineers to shut up mid-race, skipping PR events to go fishing, or literally leaving the track to grab a snack. These drivers brought main character energy to the grid, and we're here for every second of it. So grab a snack, smash that like button harder than Max ignores team strategy, and prepare for the next few minutes of straight up savagery. Kimi Raikkonen, the man who races like a machine and interviews like he's being held hostage. If Formula 1 was a school, Kimi Raikkonen would be that one kid in the back who never studied, never talked, never showed up to half the classes, and still somehow aced every exam. This man didn't just race in Formula 1, he survived it, ignored it, mocked it, and occasionally won it, all while looking like he just woke up from a nap he didn't want to take. Let's start with his most iconic one-liner ever, straight from the 2012 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Kimi was leading the race, his engineer kept feeding him strategy updates, and he finally snapped and hit him with, "Leave me alone, I know what I'm doing."
Okay, Kimi, next guy behind you is Alonso. I'll keep you updated on the pace.
Just leave me alone, I know what to do.
Not only did he mean it, he went on to win the race. The man had ice in his veins and probably an entire winter in his soul. And when it comes to not caring, Malaysia 2009 is the stuff of legend. It was pouring rain, a red flag situation. Most drivers were sitting in their cars, soaked, anxious, watching radar screens. But Kimi, he just disappeared. Next thing you know, there's a camera shot of him, in shorts, sipping a Coke and eating ice cream like he was on holiday. While everyone else was doing race strategy, Kimi was halfway through dessert. But wait, because it gets even better. Let's roll it back to 2006, Michael Schumacher's big farewell ceremony. Everyone's emotional. Ferraris lined up, drivers are giving heartfelt speeches. Kimi was nowhere. When asked why he didn't attend Schumacher's goodbye event, he simply said, "I was taking a shit."
I was having a
Then there's the time he retired from a race in Monaco, parked the car in the garage, and instead of going back to the paddock like everyone else, he literally walked straight to his yacht, got changed, cracked a drink, and started sunbathing while the race was still going. I mean, who else in F1 retires and then immediately retires from caring? And off the track, Kimi lives like a man who hasn't checked his email since 2003. He once partied so hard he fell off a yacht with his arm in a plaster cast. But if Kimi Raikkonen is the Iceman of not caring, then Fernando Alonso is the sarcasm sorcerer, a man so brutally honest, so unbothered by the PR machine of Formula 1 that sometimes you wonder if he's just there to roast people and collect his paycheck. Let's begin with one of the most iconic sound bites. Classic 2012, the Grosjean incident. Alonso gets squeezed off track, and instead of just shouting like a normal human, he delivers the now legendary line in perfect over-enunciated frustration. "You have to leave a space, all the time! You have to leave a space!" It wasn't just a radio message, it was a dramatic performance. He sounded less like a furious F1 driver and more like a teacher explaining playground rules for the 100th time to a pack of Sugar Rush toddlers and carbon fiber missiles. That line instantly became a meme, a t-shirt, a tattoo, and a lifestyle. But Fernando doesn't stop at just yelling on the radio. His interview game is next level savage. Speaking of his time at McLaren Honda, the car was slower than a hungover tortoise. After one particularly painful qualifying session, a reporter asked how the car felt and he said this over team radio: "GP2 engine, GP2, ah!"
GP2 engine, GP2.
And who could forget his facial expression? This man has single-handedly given us enough meme material to power the internet for years. There's the one where he's sitting in a folding chair during qualifying at Interlagos, arms crossed, helmet on, looking like your dad at IKEA who's had enough. Honestly, if you search Fernando Alonso reaction, it's like opening a meme museum curated by disappointment and shade. But Alonso's not the only F1 player to not give a fuck. Max Verstappen, king of pace and prince of pettiness. When Max is on the track, so is his attitude. Right from the jump, he wasn't here to make friends. He was here to race aggressively, speak his mind, and occasionally cause complete chaos over the radio. Let's start with what he's become famous, or infamous for. Some drivers talk to their engineers like they are co-pilots. Max talks to his like he just rage quit an Xbox party. During the 2021 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Max Verstappen said, "I don't give a shit if I'm through in P10.
I don't give a if I'm through in P10. Just execution."
And the tone, always pure fury. Even when he's winning by 20 seconds, he was out there complaining like someone just stole his last chicken nugget.
So if you let Lando past, down to turn 1.
Why can't they not just say what they think and then we decide? That's the
Just like that, Max doesn't allow a teammate to go through. Case in point, Brazil 2022, Red Bull asked him to let Checo pass for championship points. Max, who had already locked up the title, calmly replied, "I told you already last time. Don't ask me again. I gave my reasons."
I told you already last time. You guys don't ask that again to me. Okay? Are we clear about that? I gave my reasons, and I stand by it.
But let's talk about Max in the media pen. Some drivers give thoughtful, nuanced answers. Meanwhile, Max answers every question like he's been forced to pause a video game to talk to a stranger.
And what a race that was. Question to all three of you. How much of an unknown is it going into tomorrow without much recent representative running in wet conditions here? I don't know.
He is the king of unbothered, and he says it all with the deadpan tone of a guy who already knows he's winning and would rather be home with his sim rig. We could honestly make a highlight reel of Max's facial expressions. No words, just pure judgment. Whether it's being asked about penalties, strategy, weather, or literally anything he doesn't care about, his eyes do all the talking.
You had so many accidents.
I don't know. And like I said in the beginning of this press conference, I got really tired of all the questions, so yeah. I think if I get a few more, I'll have that.
From the moment he joined the grid, Max drove like every corner was personal. No fear, no hesitation, just pure energy. He's overtaken people on the grass, on turn 1, in the wet, and once while probably chewing gum. You ever yell at your GPS? Yeah, imagine doing that at 200 miles an hour. Here's a collection of F1 drivers treating their race engineers like annoying backseat drivers. We know Seb can be a class act, but back in his Red Bull days, that man was throwing shade like an F1 version of Shakespeare. One particularly memorable instance occurred during the 2010 Turkish Grand Prix, when Vettel collided with his teammate Mark Webber. In the aftermath, Vettel's radio message, "I'm going home," captured his frustration and disappointment.
What the f*** are we doing here? What is stupid action? I'm going home, you.
And who could forget the time he told Ferrari they messed up?
In the gap that we didn't like, we spoke about it this morning. I'll hang in there, but you know that you messed up.
However, if F1 radio channels had a drama alert, Romain would have triggered it weekly. This man gave us lines like, "I think we should retire the car. There's no point in going to the end."
Hey man, what was that? Seriously, since when we can launch like this? Oh, seriously, I don't know if I think we should retire the car. There's no point going to the end.
And let's not forget that time he spun out again and practically screamed into the mic like someone had unplugged his controller. "I cannot believe this!"
It was on for a very good lap, mate. That was going to be a good lap.
Can't believe my luck, mate.
His radios were less driver feedback and more Oscar nominee losing Best Actor for the 5th year in a row. Now, you wouldn't think Yuki fits this list, right? His radio is basically a banned Discord server. Every race, you can count on two things. Firstly, he'll scream something unintelligible. Secondly, his engineer will sound like a tired babysitter at a Chuck E. Cheese. A typical Yuki moment involves him getting fined for calling another crew retarded.
No, these guys are
Yuki, don't worry. Don't worry. Plenty of time.
Also, Charles usually sounds like a polite, slightly confused intern who accidentally got promoted to CEO. But when things go south, oh, he snaps. Like the Monaco 2022 qualification in the pit-defining stop.
And box now, box now, box for hard. Stay out, stay out.
What are you doing?
Tire position.
Sometimes F1 drivers say what we're all thinking, and sometimes they say things no one was ready for. Just like how Lewis usually brings polished, media-trained answers, but when he's done, he goes full polite but deadly. Like that time when Nico Rosberg tried to act friendly after a tense on-track fight, and Lewis, mic in hand, just dropped, "We're not friends, we're teammates."
Well, we're not friends. We're colleagues.
Or when someone asked about the pace of other drivers, and Lewis just smiled and said, "I mean, I just do my talking on the track." Meanwhile, Danny Rick is known as F1 Sunshine, but even he has limits. And when he hits them, the grin fades into dude at the bar who's had enough of your nonsense. Like after getting wrecked early on in a race, when a reporter asked what happened, Ricardo gave a fake smile and just said, "Not sure. I guess people don't really know how to brake anymore." And once after a particularly boring race, yeah, I'd rate that one a solid 2 out of 10. Not much to say. However, George is usually squeaky clean, but every now and then. After getting knocked out of Q2 once in a very underwhelming Williams, a reporter tried to spin it with, "You must be happy with that performance." George blinked and deadpanned. "Happy with P15? No, we're not in Formula 3 anymore." Esteban is usually the nice guy in the paddock, but when he gets angry, he snaps like a rubber band under tension since karting school. Once, after colliding with his own teammate, he walked into the interview pen and just dropped, "This was unacceptable. You don't race your teammate like that." And the way he said teammate had more venom than a cobra in a blender. You could tell he was about to write a very long email. Then there is Lance Stroll. He doesn't talk much, but when he does, oh, there's sass. After a bad qualifying session where his car felt like a boat on wheels, Lance shrugged and told the cameras even the car probably felt that burn. And when asked about setup issues, yeah, we tried something, it didn't work, that's it. That's not an interview. This is someone who wants to go home and delete the day. But if you want honesty, Kevin Magnussen delivers it raw. If his car isn't working, if the strategy sucks, if someone breathes near him on the track, you're gonna hear about it loudly. There was a legendary moment when he got forced off track and snapped. "Suck my mate." And that, my friends, is Kevin at his diplomatic best, because when F1 drivers stop sugarcoating and start throwing verbal tire warmers, it's a whole new race. Thanks for watching. If you survived the shade, the sass, and the screaming, drop a like, subscribe, and let us know your favorite savage F1 moments down in the comment section below.